Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me. It's Pete. I am coming to you with another edition of Pete Plays Tyranny. Where we left off was we were talking to Barrick, and then we started traveling on the road, and we ran into a lynch mob of terrible people who have stopped us and want to talk to us, I suppose. So I brought you in a little bit early into the loading screen because I knew that from testing afterwards that we would be loading directly into this confrontation. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. So let's see what the hell happens.
That's far enough, Fatebinder.
Ebb. That's far enough, Fatebinder. A woman's voice booms from atop a nearby outcropping. Flashes of aquamarine body paint peek out from under her loose-fitting traveler's garb, and her outfit is festooned in braids and knots of sailor's line. Flanked on either side by warriors dressed in Vendrien Guard regalia, the woman leans on an elaborate bladed staff pulsing with arcane energy. A swath of blue fabric rests draped over her arm. Okay, what do we know about the aquamarine body paint? The blue body pigment, bladed staff, and complex braided attire are the traditional trappings of the School of Tides. According to Fatebinder Regalis, the majority of the school fled before the coming of Kairos. The remainder were last seen during the first campaign in Vendrien's Well. The School of Tides traditionally studies the magic of water and gravelight, the art of directing the moon's arcane light into baleful, searing energy. So she is a member of the School of Tides. And her attire suggests the blue flag is a symbol of diplomacy and truce recognized across most of the known world, and it is a custom of the Tearsmen hold dear. To harm another person under the auspices of a blue flag is a grave offense in both the Tears and in Kairos Empire. The customary punishment is death. So, okay, that flag is truce and diplomacy. So if we fight her, we could upset Kairos.
Tunon sends us the Queenslayer. The old judge has a sense of humor, I'll give him that.
So she fears us because we slayed the queen. Which, is understandable. That was awesome, that thing we did.
In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I offer and request a delay of blade. There are matters we must discuss without fear of reprisal.
The woman bows deeply, lowering her head in a practiced display of etiquette. The warriors by her remain in a ready stance, their nerves clearly on edge. So she doesn't want to fight. Okay. I could say, in accordance with ancient customs north and south, I abide by this truce. I could say, you have met me at a disadvantage. I could glare silently. I could say, you would detain a Fatebinder of the Archon of Justice, unwise, or I can fight her. I'm going to say, since I know the customs, and I am Tunan's Fatebinder, I am going to abide by the truce.
As our custom, we are ready to kill to defend our lands, but we kill only in fair battle. We don't slay our prisoners. We know this isn't Kairos' way, but we must have hope. A few of my kin have gone missing, and though they may have perished, I have to inquire on the off chance they still live. If Captain Tarkus Deimos still lives, we would negotiate for his release.
So Tarkus Deimos was that guy we saved, and I didn't want killed. I wanted him enslaved. To join the God, I'm blanking on everything right now. The red group that I'm with, the Scarlet Chorus. Jesus Christ. Okay. So I could say that name means nothing to me, which would be a lie. I could attack. I will not negotiate with Oathbreakers. Assuming he's our prisoner, what would you offer in exchange so I could, negotiate? I'm just going to tell the truth. He's with the chorus now.
Then if we see him again, it will have to be as enemies.
She looks to the warriors to either side of her, shaking her head.
If I may make one more inquiry. What of Palox Tyrell? Did he survive?
Which one was Palox Tyrell? Though you rarely have the luxury of matching names to the countless Tearsmans you've encountered, you're reasonably certain she is asking about the Vendrien Guard warrior that took Drastus hostage at Edgering Ruins. He did not survive the encounter. Yes. Another dead Oathbreaker. Whomever you will ask about next, I assure you nothing can be done. He's dead. He's dead. She nods slowly, saying nothing for a long moment.
My apologies, Fatebinder. I had a terrible feeling this errand was in vain from the start.
Correct, Ebb. How's our fear going? We got 2 fear with Ebb.
I had no expectations that our friends could be saved, as I'm sure the time for swapping prisoners is long gone. But at least I know of what became of them. That'll have to be enough.
I could bow deeply and say sorry you did not find what you were seeking. I could ask some questions, which I think you know that I am going to do. Yep.
We shouldn't be socializing with Oathbreakers.
Barrick, we can find out
I'll
info.
entertain them as best I can. After all, understanding is the only hope we have. What is it you wish to know?
Why do you resist Kairos? What are you trying to save?
Event to Kairos, and if I'm going to bow to someone, let it be another Tearsman. We've ruled ourselves just fine for centuries, so we'll give our lives so that our sons and daughters might rule themselves.
You want freedom, you idiots! Okay, I could say the Younger Realms were beset with constant battle. You'd prefer that to Kairos' order. I could say only your daughters are really free in the tiers. Why fight against Kairos' equality? What makes you think you have a chance? But a mage like you would not be the subject of such superstition and fear under Kairos' reign. I'm gonna make the argument that the Younger Realms are in they're in a constant state of fluctuation, but it's not like a really good argument. They still will want their freedom rather than to be kind of enslaved by Kairos' will. And Kairos doesn't really give equality, so I'm gonna argue for her personal well-being that she will not be as maligned in Kairos' reign.
I doubt life is any better sworn to some mad Archon. I'd rather stand with my fellow Tearsmen. Or, I suppose, stand immediately behind them in the event of an attack.
At that remark, the soldiers flanking her exchange shocked looks. Ebb turns her focus to her compatriots.
Yeah, you heard me. Way things were years back, you'd all be calling me a water witch and conspiring to sell me out to the nearest sage. Just because I'm helping you stop Kairos doesn't mean I've forgotten the hospitality of ages past.
I seem to have hit a nerve.
And people wonder why the Tearsmen could never unite in time to fight back. It's refreshing to see that some things never change.
You're right, Verse. You're so right. What makes you think you have a chance?
We don't. Those who believed Kairos could be stopped all died years ago, in the first wave of fighting. It's not about the hope of victory. It's about the hope of inspiring others. It is very likely we will fall here in Vendrien's Well. But perhaps others will arise elsewhere.
So the hope of rebellion is that others will rebel. I like them. They're the underdog. I like these people a little bit. The Vendrien Guard. But I'm not going to let that affect my decision making. The Younger Realms were beset with constant battle. You prefer that to Kairos' order?
Conflict sound like a bad thing. Yes, the Younger Realms saw frequent battles, but it was never this wholesale slaughter like we've seen of late. No Tearsman ever cast an edict on the soil, or forced prisoners to kill each other, or butchered beastmen tribes.
Well, you know. So, whatever. Only your daughters are really free in the Tears. Why fight against Kairos' equality?
There's freedom, then there's trusting
It's our
idiots
daily
with power.
kitty visit.
Give a man 1,000,000 marauders. He'll lose sleep worrying over his neighbor's 1,000. I prefer my realms ruled by the braver sex. For centuries we've left the lands to the women and the seas to the men. And we did plenty fine until Kairos came around.
There's free. Okay, I gotta reread that. Kitty got distracting. There's freedom, and there's trusting idiots with power. Give a man 1,000,000 marauders. He'll lose sleep worrying over his neighbor's 1,000. I prefer my realms ruled by the braver sex. For centuries, we've left the lands to the women and the seas to the men, and we did plenty fine until Kairos came around. Oh, kitty attack again. Buddy, I'm gonna have to ask you to get down. Oh, I love you. Let me ask you something else. She nods silently, awaiting your follow-up. How did you and your friends overthrow the garrison?
I would joke that the voices of Nerat left the gate unlatched, but dozens of warriors lost their lives taking the citadel. There was no secret to it. We simply attacked with speed and certainty at a time when the Archons were elsewhere in the Tears. The Scarlet Chorus had a rout, and what few disfavored soldiers were present made an impressive showing. They were surrounded and overwhelmed once the chorus fled.
That makes sense. They were opportunistic. That's good. Who's in charge of this insurrection?
Listen to you, thinking just like the Overlord wants you to think. There always has to be a person in charge, or things don't make sense. We don't answer to anyone. We are each of us sons and daughters of the Tears, and take this task upon ourselves freely. The Captain Tarkus Ari, former Falksman of Queen Vendrien Alanta, is the voice we trust when we seek unanimity.
Okay. Are they related? Is their last name their first name?
Yes. Deimos was Ari's brother. We were certain he was dead, but the captain takes family seriously. So I volunteered to find some answers. And now here we are.
No, he's mine! Mine! Right? That's the guy? Is that the guy who I took?
That is our way, Binder. Here in the south, only thugs and bandits kill prisoners. The younger realms may be guilty of constant fighting, but we never slay each other when the battle's long over. We're not about to change that now. As a rule, Kairos' forces haven't been keen on swapping prisoners. But I know our disfavored prisoners aren't prisoners anymore. I just assumed they were swapped for some of our own.
That's it.
Fair enough. But now a question for you.
Hit me.
The Edict. I can feel its magic coursing through the air. Everyone can. But those of us enlightened to the currents of magic feel it most. The wording of the Edict. What was it?
Such details are for Kairos' warriors only. Kairos' forces must take Ascension Hall by the Day of Swords, or all in the valley will perish. That's the honest answer. I could also hide it. I could glare silently, or I could lie. It is a curse on the valley. Those disloyal to Kairos will slowly weaken and die. Well, you know, they're gonna die anyways if I don't make it happen. So I think I'd rather just say that it's for the warriors only, and I just don't. I don't want Kairos' wrath right now. I still haven't figured things out. I'm still a confused young pup in this world.
So you will not say. I expected as much. Can it be worse than endless storms or fire pouring from the earth? Not that you'd answer that either. I've another question for you, if you will entertain it.
Sure.
Are we really standing here and chatting with Oathbreakers? It's hard to watch. Like cuddling a goat you're going to kill for dinner.
I cuddle my goats before I murder them.
When I was young, my parents
Sorry.
told me the
Sorry,
Tears were
Bruce.
special, and the Overlord's edicts and armies could never touch us. Seems I've been told a hefty sum of lies. So answer this honestly for me, please. Is it true that Tunon's fate binders can smell truth from falsehood?
I don't want to say anything.
Well, if it were true, you'd happily brag about it, and if it weren't, you'd probably just sit there and bluff. There's my answer.
I hate
And
you.
Kairos' edicts. I have heard the sages speak at length that some of the edicts elsewhere in the world have been broken. How is this?
Ooh, I don't have enough lore skill to meet the lore requirement. The lore requirement's not met. You're mistaken. An edict is forever. It will end if the Overlord wills it. A strong enough anti-magical force can end an edict. Not that such things are common. The Overlord has some control over how the edict lingers, but Kairos only knows the exact details. I'm comfortable saying that.
Ah, so some edicts are forever. The rest are, as long as Kairos has in mind? Needless to say, Kairos' magic is unlike anything we've seen in any Archon. You'll forgive, I hope, the questions. The Overlord and his Archons used to be things of legend. Now they're everyday maladies, and I'm eager to separate the truth from the lies I've been told by House and Guild. In accordance to our most ancient customs, let us depart in honorable accord. May peace find you, Fatebinder.
She bows deeply, pounding her staff on the ground twice before turning to leave. Alright. Well, that was our first real encounter with the Vendrien
Right.
Guard, like, talking-wise.
I can't.
You can make out the faintest outline of a soldier's arm in the bottom of this pond, a victim of a previous battle in this arena. Right? Or area. Damn it. Oh, there's something over here. Verse, what'd you find? Skycap and a sable root. Nice. Okay.
Let's be off.
Okay. There's some other items around here. Let's go get them. Like right there. Grab all that.
On it.
Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Doesn't look like it. Okay, let's look at our quest journal. Okay. Couple completed. Got a couple in Vendrien as well. Forge-bound iron, that's at Echo Call Crossing. Northern Clearing is Earthshaker reinforcements. Got to meet with Antio at Echo Call Crossing. And then taking the Outer Valley. So I think right now we're on our way to the Scarlet Chorus camp for sure. 45-minute trip. Quick. There would have been plenty of time for dialogue. I'm not sure why they didn't mix it in. It's ridiculous. Are you geared up for yet another camp? I promise eventually my character will reach level 2 and we will do some fighting. When that's going to happen, I'm not 100% sure, but I promise it will. Let's go around and get the items first, so that we don't have that nuisance hanging over our head. We'll give this to you. A small bottle. The thick red ink inside this bottle is used by blood chanters to tattoo sigils on their body. This ink doesn't have much practical use and can be sold to a merchant. So it's good for selling. Looks like there's something over on this side of the map.
Can't do that.
Yes, 30 subterfuge.
That wasn't so hard.
A garnet. Okay, cool. Now, I don't know if these are valuable beyond selling. Like, I don't know if a garnet's valuable beyond selling it. But we may do an inventory scratch before we leave this area. Oh, stopped. The guard places her hands by her belt as you approach, gripping the hilt of a blade. Past this point is Kor's territory, and you don't look like someone's conscript. You sure you're in the right place? I'm always in the right place. The guard tenses up, locking eyes with you. That walking hunk of rust, what's he, she, maybe it doing here? Horde says, "You dolt, this is the Fatebinder. He's been with us since the damn start, even shed blood at the gates of judgment. Fucking new fish. Start learning the names and faces or find work as someone's moving target." That seems unfair. That seems just unfair. Gates of Judgment. Yeah, we fucking fought at the Gates of Judgment for sure. The guard shakes her head, blushing with embarrassment. "I'm terribly sorry. Now please, come right in." You got it. You got it. Okay. Let's see. Let's go pick up the other items. Then we'll have some conversations. Bent bronze dagger? Sure. Whatever. 35 subterfuge.
Good thing I keep a torsion wrench handy.
Cool. Couple lesser healing potions. Those will be useful. Oh, secret item. Root Spear. Self. Enraged Affliction for 120 seconds. But also +4 might for 120 seconds. Okay. Find some other items.
Sorry, I can't.
Get a nice bent bronze dagger again.
You got it.
Sure. Water. +1 resolve for 600 seconds. That's a lot of seconds.
Can't do that. Sorry, I can't.
Excuse me. I'm trying to get to some items. I guess we should stop at this one first. Mead. +1 might for 600 seconds. Okay. That could help. Aw, 45 subterfuge. What a load of crap. I think the last one's going to be here. So I'm excited to learn more about the Scarlet Chorus before we truly go out to venture. Ooh, what's this? A scroll. I do not have the lore requirement met. Oh well. Found a bronze hammer and Scarlet Chorus leather armor. Cool. Okay, let's do some equipping then. Oh yeah, he cannot change armor, but I think he could definitely change his weapon. The question is, what is he good with? I guess. He's got 29 accuracy, one-handed. Okay, I think he's comfortable wielding this. Yeah, attaboy. You're using a hammer now. Other than that, I don't think there's necessarily anything really super... that seems pretty... it gives him -8 dodge, but is he really going to be dodging? Probably not. Sorry, I'm still getting over that sickness. I promise, someday, I will be healthy. And you will not have to worry about me anymore. Okay. I think I'm happy with all this. I'll eventually go sell some stuff. Okay, let's start conversation. Not with the fifth eye, he's important. Let's look in this tent. The threadbare tents show signs of hard use and long-term exposure to the elements. Cool. Who are you? Snigler Dagos. Upon noticing your approach, the merchant straightens his posture and smiles. What an honor! The name Snigler Dagos. That's like the most frank name ever. Originally from the relative tranquility of the Northern Empire, I've since accepted a nomadic life, for the sake of keeping Kairos' forces supplied with only the finest goods, local and imported. God, this is the worst Let's Play ever. Let me see your wares. He winces a little. It's not much, but let me know if you see anything that piques your interest. Okay. Sure. Do I have anything that piques your interest? I think I could sell this. I think I'll keep the fail, because actually those might be good for her. Those do 8 to 11 pierce. These do 8. Oh, these are two-handed though. Yeah, she's a dagger lady, which is awesome. So I don't feel like I need those. Definitely have better armor now, unless this will help her. How do you give an item? Did that not work? That seems really intuitive. It's bothering me a little bit. Oh well. Actually, let's just do that. No, way worse. Okay. Sell that. That's the same as his. It's probably worse. Plus, I like her current helmet. Already removed those. Don't think those will help her. Nope. All the ceremonial crap. Rod of Strength. Nah. Nah. You know, no. I'm gonna keep my scrolls just in case. I might find somebody. That seems like it could be useful. That could be useful. That could be useful. That could be useful. That could be useful. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Sky caps are pretty good at magic. Head wrap seems bad. Ceremonial head wrap for the Fate Binder. Topaz doesn't do anything, so we can sell that. Water's good. Fruit's good. Blood moss good. We already have established that shield does nothing for us. Vagrant's Claw, that seems good. Walking Death will revive when defeated for 120 seconds. Ooh, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Sable Root, delay unconsciousness for 10 seconds for 120 seconds. That's not confusing. Agate, gone. Iron Walker helmet. Actually doesn't seem too bad, but does give -3 accuracy, which could be really rotten. Is that good for base Vic? Actually, yeah, it seems okay for him. Let's do it. Okay. Trade all that stuff away. Sure. I don't know if there's anything I want to buy yet. I could probably use a lesser healing potion or two for base Vic. Yeah, let's do that. Oh. He already has them in his quick items, so that's fine. Yeah, so we'll just add those to the quick items. Add those. And those. Okay. That's good. Probably considering adding a couple more things. We have some camping supplies, as far as I know. Right? Yeah, we got 6 of them. So we're good on those for now. We can always come back, I guess. Let's go over here to Reg and Baz. Baz, well look who we have here. Chewing on some manner of cud, a heavy-set soldier flings spittle and crumbs as she talks. The Fate Binder finally shows himself. I've decided just now that the Scarlet Chorus are American hillbillies. I'm Rig, the second soldier chimes in. And this is Baz. We were wondering when you might pay the camp a visit. The Fifth Eye has been a little starved for attention. He ordered us to watch you like a troublesome babe. Make sure you don't get out of line. I'm going to stop doing this voice. Baz knits her fingers together, joints crackling as she smiles. That voice hurts my throat anyways. Red clears his throat loudly, scowling at Baz. Something like that. If you have questions, ask us. Good luck finding anyone else in camp who will give you answers, or even a smile. So, anything we can do for you? What's up, Baz? Baz was the sellsword at the beck and call of fat merchants. Just another dented face in the crowd. After too many years of spilling blood and local skirmishes, I realized that I was only killing time. Then Cairo showed me a better way. Unity, purpose. Now I fight for something, not just for someone. Been watching the Scarlet Furies practicing my blade work. Not good enough to join them yet, but I bet I could show you a thing or two. Tell me about yourself, Reg. He scratches the back of his head, at a loss for words. I had a family, a farm. Then the chorus came and, well, now I have the chorus. Priorities change when you hear screams in the night and feel a blade pressed to your neck. Things like farms or families don't seem as important. I used to have nightmares thinking about the calling. Felt awful remembering how I hacked my mom and dad to bits just so I could survive. Yeah, that's the conscription. Man. You gotta fight your family and friends to the death. Reg's eyes, shadowed for a moment with sorrow, takes on a feverish gleam. The Fifth Eye heard me howling one night, pulled me out of the horde and took an interest in me. Now I'm studying magic, calling fire from nothing. If my ma and dad could see me now, they'd be so proud if I hadn't murdered them. Tell me about your time in the Scarlet Chorus. Reg and I were conscripted at the gates of judgment. We used to fight for Okan, me for Azur. Baz chuckles, sketching her chin in thought. How many fights we survived so far? 11? Reg begins to count in series across his fingers. No, 14. I count each day in sunder separately. The chorus is... Baz looks around the camp and shrugs. Not as bad as it smells. The strong, like me and Reg, we're allowed to take what we want, what we deserve. We live only as well as our strength affords us. As it should be. What can you tell me about the Fifth Eye? Reg trades an uncomfortable glance with Baz and lowers his voice to a whisper. They say he shares a direct link with the voices of Nayrat. Guard your tongue around him. He's a little... wild, bloodthirsty, mad. Baz thinks for a moment. Brilliant. Reg flinches and glances over his shoulder. I was going to say eccentric. The chorus isn't picky about who joins the ranks, so you can expect to find some unusual types. Most are as likely to kill you as promote you. What do you know about Vendrien's well? The walls might seem imposing, but the Vendrien Guard do a better job of hiding its weaknesses than fixing them. She shrugs. We took the Citadel once before. We could take it again. We have to, don't we? Reg looks up at the imposing tower of the spire. Though Kairos knows I don't want to stay any longer than necessary. She follows his gaze and shakes her head. You should know better than to parade your cowardice before the Faithbinder. It's not cowardice, it's just superstition. Hold on one sec, I'm gonna go get some ibuprofen. Sorry, it's hard for me to talk, but I'm muscling through. What do you know about Vendrien's Well, is what I just asked. Are you afraid of the spire? Sorry, Fatebinder. I shouldn't have mentioned anything. He sighs. The fact of the matter is, we were told to stay away from spires and old walls ever since we were babes. Of all the dumb childhood lessons that fell by the wayside, that one stayed the same. Imagine a soldier of the chorus pissing himself over architecture. More like what's underneath it, Reg frowns. The Bane lurk around those old sites, and kill anything they can catch unawares. I've no wish to meet the Bane in combat unless there are 100 blood chanters at my back. She twists her lip into a frown as she considers this. Me neither, I suppose. Baz, what can you teach me? Let's dance, Fatebinder. Woo! Unarmed combat, baby. Train me up. This is what I want more than anything. Oh, cool, I gotta level up. I'm just gonna keep going. Okay. I've trained the maximum amount of times. Awesome. I'm way better at unarmed combat now. And I'm like level 2, which is rad. I can like level up. Can you teach me anything? I got money. Oh. Seeing you, Reg pockets his ration without taking a bite. Fatebinder. So anything we could do for you? What were they saying? Baz spits a wad of chewed bread into her open palm. These rations are foul. Taste it. Can't tell if it's poison or mold. I heard that our watch has spotted a disfavored scout by the grain stores. You don't think? Baz says, I feel fine. Maybe it's an herb to slow my hand in battle. Sabotage is a coward's weapon. Reg says, maybe it's just gone bad. Seeing you, Reg pockets his ration without taking a bite. Fatebinder. Reg, what you got? I'm gonna make this valley burn. Nope. Nothing. That's fine. Not much to learn there. Okay. Let's level up. So I feel like finesse and quickness are my two main things. Spell strength, not that important. Might, no, not really. That's gonna up my subterfuge, dodge. What else? Dual wield. This ups my athletics, my dual wield, my unarmed combat. That seems better right now. I need that. Let's do it. And we get an ability. So, I got Palm Strike already. I could get Focus Strike. I can get Cleave. My plan is to be powerful and elusive. That's what I want. What else we got? Agility might be the other category I go into. Move faster in combat. It's hard to read all of these. Know where you're going. That might be good to reduce the target's armor so I can hit them easier. I feel like having armor reducing. Also, cone abilities are really good. Will that relate to my unarmed? It has to. Yeah, I'm gonna do the cone. And I think we're updated on this quest. Oh yeah, that quest thing just won't go away. Okay. Let's run over here. Yep, talking about death now. You As much an accusation as a question, the broad-shouldered woman shakes her head with a scowl. So you're Tunan's Fatebinder. I was expecting something more impressive. She bows in spite of her misgivings. Death knell, Scarlet Fury. My time is yours for as long as it amuses me. The fighter effortlessly spins a bronze sword about in her hand. Let's get one thing clear. Stick to your words and law. Leave the fighting to the grown adults. Your corpse would be just a tripping hazard to those of us having a proper bit of carnage sport. We've got enough useless twats dying for our name as it is. All our horde recruits seem good for, of late, all our horde recruits seem good for, of late, is piling in a shit-reeking mound on the battlefield. She hums low to herself and flips her sword side to side with several deft flicks of her wrist. Keeps up, and we'll have to toughen our recruitment standards. Again. Now what do you need? You said something about horde thinning? Swelling until it's thundering, then crashing and receding. It's been the way of the chorus for as long as I've been in it. She offers a one-shouldered shrug, ambivalent if anything, but more likely just uncaring. We take our prisoners alive, give them a chance yet to live, to be reborn into something better, putting any and every able body to the sword like the disfavored do is nothing but a waste. A conquered enemy is but a new ally. It merely requires the proper coercion. Of course, we do sometimes have the problem of lingering loyalties. Deserters are rarely successful in their escape, but they do try. The Vendrien Guard, strengthened by their numerous blood ties, have been particularly stubborn, so I have a better plan hatched. Brutal, efficient. I like it. She tips her head to you, a smile playing at her lips. Had a feeling you'd see it my way. I'm thinking we redouble our efforts to recruit settlers, focusing on the unaligned and unsuspecting, instead of flushing ourselves to the gills with oathbreakers claimed from the battlefield. How exactly do you plan to convince them? A knife point has sufficed well enough in the past, but you've inspired me to try a more diplomatic approach this day. What do you say, Binder? You might be able to ease them into the idea and save the lives of their friends and neighbors in the process. Sure, why not? Sounds like a bit of fun. Remote settlement is now unlocked on the world map. The Fury howls a satisfied laugh and smacks you dead on the back. My methods are surefire, you'll see. I'll mark the settlement on your map. She grins, biting her bottom lip bloodied. I can't wait to see the outcome of your efforts. What were you expecting? Let's see. Death now counts on her fingers, conducting some mental tally. From your deeds during the conquest to how you've helped us since then, I expected a mountain, a warrior of colossal size who could shout a rampart wall into submission. She smiles, but I think you'll do just fine. Insult me again and I'll bury that blade in your belly before you can scream. I've gained loyalty with verse, and I have gained favor with the Scarlet Chorus. She peels a surprised but pleased laugh at your threat. Tapping the flat of the blade against her thigh, she cants her neck until it audibly cracks. Maybe there's something else I can do for you Fatebinders after all. What can you tell me of the Scarlet Chorus? We are the voices of Nayrat's glory made manifest. In the chorus strength rises, and the weak feed the soil. Death Knell smiles, standing tall as she extols the army. Our ways terrify the cowardly and shock the naive, but our traditions exist to offer promise and prestige to those fit to claim it. We abandon all petty rules for one simple law. The strongest must lead. What's your role in the Scarlet Chorus? Death Knell frowns, her eyes narrowing. Do you not recognize the Scarlet Fury when you see one? We are the warrior spirit of the chorus, scars of sword and shiv. She folds her arms, puffing out her chest. In peace we train those tough enough to endure our lessons, but wise enough to learn from the best. In battle, it is our duty to slay our foes and inspire the horde with our skill and bravery. Death Knell clicks her tongue, looking aside to the others in the camp with an eye roll. We are fearless vanguards of this confused but glorious rabble. How's the military life treated you so far? Oh, it's a wonder of wonders. I eat what I want, I shit where I want, and I kill who I want. Sometimes I even combine pleasures. She winks at you. Having sex with Scarlet Fury seems bad. Seems like disease. My enthusiasm for the work brought me here. A decorated Scarlet Fury veteran, eh? But I'm looking for advancement. If it means killing one of the gang bosses, I'm not above taking a swing at someone bigger than me. They can be bigger than you. Just make sure they don't hit harder than you. That was Verse chiming in. Wise words, sister. Farewell, Death Knell. Okay, so we're one step further. Can we talk to this person? The Fifth Eye must authorize all prisoner visits. Okay. So now we're going to go talk to the Fifth Eye. It's time. Fifth Eye says, the binder of Tunon arrives. Squealing with teenager's timber, the Fifth Eye's voice makes your gums itch and your fingernails feel in need of a trim. Of app trim? They should patch that. Patch it. And we just finished having a bit of sport with some captives. But worry not, we'll have more fun with another batch momentarily. Dressed in the bronze-red regalia of the Crimson Spears, the Fifth Eye beckons you to stand close, wagging a blood-spattered glove. Now that you have issued this edict and doomed us all to die, have you come to help us climb out of this hole? Chirps of laughter emanate from under his mask. I trust you have warriors? You're getting your warriors ready for battle? We know the Oathbreakers are focused in the citadel beneath the mountain spire, but we have learned this is not their only nest. The Fifth Eye wags a hand in the air with a high-pitched squeal of displeasure. Given their pattern of attacks, they must have a second group maintaining camp here in the Outer Valley. And unless we deal with this second group, they'll attack from behind the moment we cross the river. So I could remain silent. I could say you have how large a force, and for all these weeks you've let the enemy move freely through the valley. Or I could say the disfavored think you can't control your horde, and that many are defecting back to the Vendrien Guard. I'm going to remain silent. My last group of scouts returned with a new batch of prisoners, and one of these prisoners claims she can lead us to the Vendrien Guard's secondary camp, though there are shreds of deception in her voice. I could use your help questioning this for Raya Kell. Perhaps you will get less screams and tears and more useful information out of her. If we knew where to ambush the Oathbreakers, we could try and take their captain, and show him the wisdom of joining the chorus. I'll speak with the prisoner. I will meet you there. She's waiting by the other prisoners. The Fifth Eye authorized this. Choirmen, let the Fatebinder speak with our catch of the day. Raquel says, please, someone. I wish to bow before the voices of Nayrat. I thought all could find redemption in the chorus. A woman in the makeshift armor of the Vendrien Guard lurches forward in agony. Her soiled, trembling legs suggest she has been forced to stand for days. God, that sucks. This one, the Fifth Eye says, this one, he flippantly waves at the prisoner, was hollering earlier that she knows the location of the Vendrien Guard encampment, but she isn't being entirely honest. Raquel says, I told this thing, the prisoner turns pale a moment before a look of determination comes over her face, that I wanted to guarantee I'd live and be welcomed into a chorus as a captain. Then I'll talk. Otherwise, they'll just kill me once I've opened up. I was dumb enough to join with the Vendrien Guard, but I'm not dumb enough to give away my bargaining bronze. You claim you would disavow your people for the Scarlet Chorus. Why the change of heart? Because I want to live, and you don't need to be the Archon of Premonitions to know that the younger realms are gone for good. She blinked several times, catching her breath. Kairos is the new strength of the Tears, and I would rather stand with his Archons than be crushed by them. Why should I trust you? I suppose I have no answer for that. Raya's eyes fall to the ground and she swallows nervously. When I joined with the Vendrien Guard, I accepted their broken vow unto myself. Have you not felt passion for a foolish cause? Once you later came to regret? Well, my surrender is sincere, and I'm willing to bow before the voices of Nayrat to prove it. Tell me what you know, and I'll see to your release. I heard the chorus is looking for Captain Palox Valorian and his crew. I can lead you to them, but only if you release me. She turns her head, taking a long look at skewered and smoldering corpses around her. She tugs at her restraint, but no avail. I could intimidate her, which is probably what my character would do. I mean, 57 athletic skill experience. Well, you see, shaken by your demand, her lips move wordlessly for several seconds. So I don't know exactly where the rest of my crew is, but I could tell you. She shakes her head, catching her breath. Search that one. She reaches up with her right leg and points with her foot, calling attention to a nearby pile of corpses. The tall, dark one missing most of his face. Check his left boot. He was the literate one in our crew. He had the orders. With a snap of his fingers, a pair of choir men yank the boot off the fallen guardsman. Rolled parchment slides out of the boot and is thrust into Fifth Eye's hands. He unfurls the scroll to give it a read. It's nonsense, just mash of words. Laughter erupts from under the mask. She said she had information. She gives us garbage. Slay this wretch for wasting our time. He snaps his fingers at a nearby Scarlet Fury, who promptly snatches a long knife from her belt. Yeah. She'd swear fealty to the voice of Nayrat. She deserves an initiation rite. Aha! Screw you, man. I only have 3% wrath, so... Seeing as you are an expert on the subject of fate, I will entertain your wisdom on the matter. What, then, would you propose to do with her? Point to two other prisoners. Let's test her loyalty. Pariah, kill these guardsmen with something blunt. Send her back as our agent. When the time comes, she will aid us, or we will track down her kin. You're wasting a good slave. Work her until she's broken and feed her to the pigs. Yeah, she should be a secret agent. I will need to think of a good explanation for my escape, but I'm certain I can return and avoid suspicion. Thank you. You will not regret this act of mercy. Fifth Eye says this will end amusingly, for the Vendrien Guard would be smart to assume she only escaped by our whims. You there. The Fifth Eye barks at a pair of guardsmen, beckoning them forward. Release our newest recruit. She has orders to infiltrate the Oathbreakers. See that she is escorted to the river's edge. Pariah inhales deeply, flexing her fingers as she shakes off the stiffness of being tied to a post for days. I will return to the Vendrien Guard, act well my part, and await further instructions from the course. With a nod, she follows her escorts out of camp. Fifth Eye says, we're no closer to finding the Oathbreaker's position. Not with this cryptic mess. She promised us answers, and all she gave us was gibberish.
Sorry to interrupt, but I highly doubt it's gibberish. More likely, it's one of the local scripts.
Hello. The voice comes from another prisoner tied up next to Pariah, an older gentleman with the quills, ink vials, and parchment scrolls one finds on the sages of the School of Ink and Quill. Ink smudges cover his cheeks, temples, and ears. His clothes appear charred, and between the rips of the fabric you spot burn scars along his arms. Despite being emaciated and tied to a post, he offers a beaming smile. Show him the parchment and ask him if he can read it.
Let me see. I can't.
You hold the yep. You hold the parchment in front of the bound sage, and his eyes dart down the length of the missive. He reads the words for a second time, nodding in silence.
So, I don't know exactly what it says, but I'm half certain that's Sage Selwyn's handwriting. I'm sure I could decipher that in a few hours' time. Don't need my hands free, but I think better when not tied to a post. I know, I'm weird that way.
Fifth Eye says, a few hours. Either you can read it, or you cannot. What use is a sage that doesn't know his letters? I've heard all I need to hear. I say we have some fun with this one. Yes, your life depends on you translating the scroll now.
I would love to help. I just need some time. That's written in another sage's shorthand. I'd have to sit down with it, or better yet, compare it to a piece of his writing I have stashed on me somewhere. If I sat down with it while sufficiently sober, it's highly probable I'd figure it out.
I don't trust this guy.
Sober? Since when do we share the good stuff with the prisoners?
Oh, nobody shared. Right before I was taken prisoner, I imbibed several vials of reagents. I wanted to be numb and disconnected when my captors used me for carnal catharsis. It's made these last few days tied to a post almost enjoyable.
Can't hurt to give him a few hours. You read the edict. I don't need to tell you the sundial is working against us. This addle little bag is just trying to stall us. Untie him, give him a chance to translate. The voices of Nayrat will be upset to know you squandered a source of enemy intelligence. He's trying to help, isn't that worth something? Another useless prisoner, dispose of him. He's trying to help, isn't that worth something? Of course, it's worth a great deal, and for that I'm willing to give him trial by combat. If he were brazenly deceptive, I'd just have him killed. But he's earned his shred of hope.
Fatebinder, I beseech you, be my advocate for this trial. I'm no fool. I know the chorus uses blood, not words, to settle these matters. But you are a servant of the Archon of Justice, are you not?
I'm going to take him into my custody. Not a chance. He's our prisoner. If you think you can crack the information we need out of his skull without troubling the Archon, that's one thing. But you're not walking out of here with our property. I could use my favor and say, does my name count for nothing in the chorus? I can guarantee his cooperation. I can grab him by the mask and say, did you just tell me no? Oh, cat fight. One sec. Husky. Huskar's being a meanie. Does my name count for nothing in the chorus? I can guarantee his cooperation. That is a reasonable point. You've been more than fair to the chorus in the past, and certainly a better ally than the disfavored have been. He nods vigorously, waving his hand at the prisoner to signal his release. It's your lucky day, old man. You get to tell the Fatebinder everything you know.
Thank you. Oh, I thought I was going to wind up as another corpse in that pile. Now, hand me that parchment. The sooner I can find out what it says, the sooner I can get out of this place.
Welcome aboard, buddy. Well, much of the parchment was weathered, but I could make out the important parts of the text. The note makes mention of a meeting spot west of Tripnettle. Tripnettle Wilderness is now unlocked on the world map. So the old sage knows his words after all. I'd ask that you travel ahead and see if you can't get this Captain Florian to yield to the chorus. They will strike at first sight of a chorus gang, but perhaps they will parley if yours is the face they see. Lantry said, I know the area, and I suggest we go at once. I'll show you the way. I'm eager to be far from the stench of this camp. Why are you offering to come with me? Because the alternative is what? Living here with these illiterate brutes. My old study is under a river of fire, and there's no family missing me. Besides, I'd much rather chronicle the binder that twice proclaimed an edict of Kairos. I'd be a fool to let someone else write your story. Fine, if you are so eager, come with me. Splendid, you won't be disappointed. I know I may seem old and frail, but I know how to step lightly and how not to get killed. Really, I won't slow you down. Lead the way and let me know if I can be of service. Burst says, are we done here? Let's hightail it to Trip Nettle. If your new pet doesn't behave himself along the way, I'm not above clipping his ears. Okay, so we're at the hour mark, as we typically are, in the strangest way, but we're going to level up Lantry real quick. We're going to give him solid spell strength. He is a caster, as far as I can tell. And he's also going to get an ability. So he already has a couple abilities. He can restore the party's weapons. Let's give him the gifted healer ability. I need a healer, I guess. Oh, and he still has 1 point here, so... he can throw a quill. It seems like this may be, like... That's interesting. Empowers Lantry's renewal ability, granting an even greater increase to weapon damage and armor. Let's do that. Okay. So, I'm going to save. And we are going to call it an episode. Next time, you're probably going to get a short episode where we will talk to and learn about Lantry and get some of his background and what he's up to. So hopefully tomorrow I'm less sick and I feel better and I don't have a headache the entire time, but who knows? Maybe I'll just keep being ill. Maybe I'll be sick forever. I'm not sure. But for now, this has been another edition of Pete Plays Tyranny. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you join me next time for part 7. Thanks. Bye.